but Amy Westbrook is a transformational wealth coach and creator of the Neuro Wealth Success System. She meshes advanced personal development with a unique approach to personal finance to help women find their purpose, afford their passions, and secure their future. Amy understands each person is unique, and the standard one size fits all money advice may not align with your personal goals and can actually sabotage your financial success. Amy doesn't sell financial or insurance products, so you can get actionable, unbiased wealth mentorship from someone who has amassed her own multi-million dollar portfolio. Doesn't that sound fun and fabulous? So, Amy, I'm going to mute. I'm going to let you take it away, and we'll have some people popping on, and you can do your thing.
Okay, and I am going to need permission to share my slide deck. Thank you, everyone, while she's doing that, for having me. I appreciate being able to pop on the call and take this time. The thing that I was sharing with Lauren is that just, I absolutely love talking to women about not only money, but also life. So can everybody see my screen? Okay. All right. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So my understanding is that, Lauren has amassed this like really great team, but you guys are all in different phases of your journey. Some of you are just getting started. Some of you have been at this a little bit longer and, have some pretty significant income coming in every single month. And so, for me, the challenge was, how can I, pretty quickly, because I mean, this is going to be a, short presentation. How can I share something with you that works pretty much for everyone? And so tonight, my goal was to give you kind of like where you should start, like where you should focus, given your own personal situation, because I really believe that we should make money tailored to each individual person. Like we've got to stop this cookie cutter stuff. And so I'm also going to give you a couple of tools tonight to use inside of that. So we're going to about nurturing your financial growth. And for me, it really just money starts with what I call flow. Like that is my acronym and how I work with people because and you'll notice that it's really like an upside down triangle. And the widest part is what's your fulfillment and how are you fulfilled? Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want? Like, what's comfortable for you and what creates meaning in your life? Because if you're not starting there, it doesn't really matter how much money you earn, right? So I invert the triangle. We start with fulfillment. We figure out what drives you, what your values are, because that's really going to guide every other decision. Now, we're not going to get into that. I mean, this is kind of big picture, but it's a place for you to start. If you're not super clear on that, it's a place for you to start on your own, just getting to know yourself. The next topic is legacy, because I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the work that I do is not necessarily for me. I mean, I get something out of it, but I do it like I do it for my family. I do it to make changes in my community. Like my personal mission is to change the way women do money because I think women are given some pretty terrible financial advice, which we'll get into that a little bit more. And the next is opportunity. And what kind of opportunities do you want to create in your life? I mean, that's really why we're earning money, like to go on adventures or be able to, do more inside of our business. And then it's funny because I'm a wealth coach, right? But the last thing that I list is wealth. But listen, I'm not diminishing it either. So I want you to have the peace of mind, the security, and fund your goals, fund your life, right? So think of your life in terms of building flow. I mean, that's really the goal of your financial success. And then I also want to say that I hope tonight when I'm talking, like, please understand that I'm not telling you you have to do it a certain way or earn money a certain way or make a certain amount of money. I really do believe that everybody is unique. And we all have different priorities because we have different values. Like we all, everybody has a different mission in life. We all have different skill sets. Now, there's your financial skill sets, meaning, how do you earn, manage, and invest your money? But then there's also your own like professional skill sets and the experience that you have. Your mindset is different. Now, listen, I just want y'all to know, like, I'm huge on mindset. That's probably 80% of the coaching that I do. But tonight is really about being like practical and tactical, something that you can use every single day. So we're not really going to touch on that too much, but I also don't want to diminish it because it's so important. And then timeline. Everybody's on a different timeline. Some of you are younger. Maybe you're just starting out. You have young families. Maybe you're retired. Your kids are out of the house. So just I'm keeping in mind that we're all on a unique path. And if I could, I guess, get one point across tonight is to just own that unique path. Own it and claim it. And your version of success doesn't have to look like anybody else's. And so, Lauren gave me a quick little introduction, but I did want to tell you that I'm a certified life coach, and I love that I have been able to marry life coaching with professional money coaching. And I was one of the founders of the Capital One money coaching team. Like, I've done a lot of money coaching. I've personally built up my portfolio to about $4.5 million now. And, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I mean, I just got interested in money and I just started researching it and I started investing on my own and I started investing in real estate. And I became a mentor to women inside of my corporate career. And so, I just was the lady that people started talking to about money because, I'm non-judgmental about it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, I didn't know. So I don't sell financial products. So I don't try and like, oh, you have to buy this or you have to invest in this asset or that's not me. I mean, maybe it's not a good fit for you. So anyway, I am kind of I guess sort of a hippie when it comes to money. And that's my approach that I'm going to share with you guys. And so hopefully this is going to be helpful. But bottom line, there's three ways to build money, right? I mean, there's the money that you earn, there's how you manage it, like what's coming in and what's going out. And then there's like your investments. How are you leveraging that money? I mean, those are the three buckets. Now, what I find is that, especially like I would say hop on Pinterest one day. Just hop on Pinterest and Google like money advice or financial advice. And it's interesting because just about everything that pops up is around budgeting. And it's about, pinching your pennies and dialing back. And women are taught to shrink their way to wealth. Stop the lattes, cut out all this stuff in your life. And it's interesting because I think the advice to men is, earn more money, grow your income streams. And I just think it's unfortunate that women are often getting the advice to shrink their way to wealth because women live longer and women have substantially less money in their retirement accounts. So we have less money, but we're living longer and we need more money. So I really do feel like the current financial advice is hurting women more than it's helping them. And so tonight I wanted to focus on income and investment, just to give you a couple of ideas and tools to help you move forward. So I don't know where each of you is, inside of your journey. And so I think a lot of times, when somebody's talking to you about money, it can be like, oh my gosh, like I'm so overwhelmed. What should I do? Because, should I be focusing on, what assets should I invest in? How much should I invest? Like, am I getting the right return? Like, gosh, what is this costing me? Maybe I should hire a financial advisor. Like, I mean, it can be pretty easy to spin out pretty quickly. Like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? And so I just wanted to break it down into two phases. And I just want to say, if you haven't saved your first 100K yet, and your savings are actually outpacing what you're earning on your investments, meaning, you're putting in $7,000 a year, maybe into an IRA, but, making $1,000 on that investment, maybe, right? Then you really need to be just focused on earning income. Don't worry about getting a financial advisor. You don't need a complicated strategy. If you literally had one mutual fund that you were just parking some money in, great. It's really all you need to worry about. Just keep it simple and focus on the income. And that's really where Lauren comes in, right? And that's where your other team members come in, helping you build that income. And so that's phase one. So you're working on your first 100K. And then phase two is where your interest, so your portfolio is actually starting to build up some steam. And so your returns are actually greater than even what you're putting in. So you're really starting to amass or have a critical mass in your investments. You've got your high interest debt paid off. I mean, you really need kind of a bigger plan for your money. So some of you are going to be in income phase one, and some of you are ready for, phase two investing. And, can you invest when you're, just starting out? Absolutely. Do you need to still worry about income when you're investing a lot? Absolutely. I just want to simplify the process for you a little bit and say that, don't overwhelm yourself if you're just kind of starting out and getting that first 100K. So let's look at what happens when you're in phase one. Really, where you need to focus is maximizing your earnings. And I don't know exactly how you guys have your system set up, but Lauren, for example, I'm sure can coach you guys on how do you maximize what you can sell to your current clients, because that's easier than getting new clients a lot of times. I also see a lot of people, I would say, spreading themselves thin. They haven't really maximized their primary source of income. And I'm like, wait a minute, why are you like spreading yourself thin across these four other things? Like, really dial down and maximize that primary source and work on reaching that first 100K. This is also the phase where I think you want to really get in touch with who you are and start spending and aligning your goals around your values. Otherwise, as you do start to make more, it's easy just, and you guys that are making a little bit more, making more know this, lifestyle creep starts to kick in and you just start spending a little bit more here and there. When you're really dialed in on what's important to you, you really don't want to spend on those other things. So, and I'm going to say, know your numbers. And this is where I'm really directing the call tonight is by knowing your numbers, I mean, net worth. That's like a temperature, when you go to the doctor and they're like, okay, well, let's take your temperature. Okay, well, it's 102. Like it kind of gives us a litmus test that maybe something's going on. So, net worth is simple. And you can Google it, honestly. It's just all of your assets, it's your money, it's your accounts, and it's minus any debts that you have. And you hope that number's positive. And as you work inside of your business, and you're staying on top of your spending and you're managing, you'll start to see that number grow. And that's just a healthy, what do you call it? It shows you that your financial success is moving in the right direction. But where I wanted to take you tonight, and I'm going to call it the phase one skill, is knowing your value. Now, you guys have these slides, so like, don't worry about, having to write all this down. And you can do this after the call. But what is your time worth? I don't know, has anybody ever figured out those numbers, like an hourly rate assigned to their time? And here's why I really hope that you'll do this exercise. I mean, first off, it takes maybe 4 minutes. And secondly, what I love about it is it allows you to see the gap, because right now, you're working a certain amount of hours. Right now, you have a certain amount of income. But I'm imagining that a lot of you are thinking, I'm working 40 hours a week now. I could really see myself working 20 hours a week. And I would love to triple my income, even though I'm working less. And so by looking at your current hourly rate with your desired hourly rate, it just gives you a snapshot of where you are. Everybody needs a starting point, but it gives you something to work towards. So I love this exercise. And when you understand the value of your time, I tell you what, it gets a lot easier to start saying no to people, opportunities, activities that are not a good use of your time. It's easier because you're thinking, wow, like I've actually put a dollar value to that time now. And I don't like the idea of giving up $300 for this. Like, that's just not a good use of my time. And that can also help you start to hire your team as you start to grow, realizing that if my time's worth $300 an hour, then I probably should pay somebody $25 an hour to work on my social media. Like, that's just not the best use. So let's figure out what your time is worth so you can start being, and guys, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I put be the $1 million business owner. Not everybody wants to be $1 million business owner. I understand it. Maybe you want to be $100,000 earner, a $250,000 earner. But if you're not there yet, this is kind of the mindset component. It's becoming that woman. If you want to be $1 million business owner, do you have $1 million habits? Do you have $1 million mindset? Do you have $1 million framework for your business? So you really have to start to be the person that you want to become. And so let's look at how we do this. Let's just say that maybe right now you're making $60,000, but your goal is 120,000. Like, I want to double my income. And so you want to look at also how many hours you're working, the number of weeks that you work in a year. I mean, for me personally, I like to take vacations. I like to go places. I don't want to necessarily work 50 weeks out of the year. And so figure out how many weeks you want to work, and then you're going to multiply the hours times the weeks. So let's look at maybe your goal versus an actual scenario. So you're working 20 hours a week. I'm sorry, you're working 45 hours a week, 50 weeks out of the year. That's 2250 hours worked per year. I mean, it's a lot. But maybe your goal is only 960 hours worked per year. And so what happens? Sorry, let me go to the next slide here. Oh, my computer froze. Hold on. There we are. And so what this looks at is if your goal is $120,000, working 960 hours a year, that puts your time value at about $125 an hour. And so look at, the activities that you're performing, and could you hire somebody for less than that to do that activity? And if the answer is yes, then hey, you just freed up an hour of your time to now put back into your business and make that $125 an hour. Now, currently, let's just say you're only making $60,000 a year and you're working a lot more hours. That puts your time at, almost $27 an hour. And so you're going to find yourself doing a lot more of, I'd say, the little things. But I just want you to start making a goal that if I want to be that woman that's running that $120,000 business, making $125 an hour, I'm going to have to start delegating a couple of things, or getting some help, or deprioritizing. So anyway, this is something that I personally use. I keep it in my mind every single day to ask myself, is this the highest and best use of my time? And I know what my time is worth, and it allows me to say no to things that are not a priority. So I can answer questions about this later too, if anybody has any questions. I really am like an informal person. Like, you could email me and say, I didn't quite get that. and I would talk to you again about it. But I would love for you to do a current hourly rate and your desired hourly rate, and start setting goals and aligning your priorities to start making that income that you really want. Yeah, my computer. All right, so now I'm going to jump on to phase two. We all there? So I'm going to jump over to phase two. And in this phase, you're really looking at how can I start to make my money work harder for me? So in phase one, it's like addition. You're trying to add the dollars up. Phase two is you're now wanting those dollars to become exponential. It's like, how do I turn $1 into $10? How do I turn $10 into $100? And a couple of things in this phase. And it's funny, I just got off the call with a client the other day, and she had a significant amount of cash. And I was like, well, let's talk about that cash. Where is that cash? And she had it sitting in an account that was making about 1%. And I was like, why don't you have that in a money market account inside of a brokerage? Because there's no risk. And it's a 5% return. So anyway, she didn't realize that she needed to do that. But you want like your cash parked in an area that's going to be working for you. And then the free dollars that you have to start investing, do you have the right account set up? Like you need a brokerage account, your different retirement accounts. And then starting to invest that. And I'm just going to tell you right now, like it does not have to be complicated. You don't need a financial advisor if you don't want one. And the reason that I say that is even Warren Buffett, like he does a challenge every year where, not every year, he's done it a couple of times where he said, listen, I'm going to invest in one fund and it's just going to mirror the S&P, super simple, low cost. And he challenged anybody to like try and pace him in performance. And they could buy as much as they wanted. They could buy and like sell anything that they wanted. And they had these people that were buying and selling and doing all this stuff, and they still lost. At the end of the day, just parking their money in something that's kind of safe and mirrors the stock market performed better. So, I mean, this whole thing that has to be complicated is just baloney. It's really quite simple. But when you start doing that, I mean, I'll just tell you, like, it's kind of exciting. You open up your portfolio, and for me, I personally use Fidelity, and you can have a day where it's like, cool, I made 27,000 in the stock market today. Wow, today was a really great day. I've got a $56,000 return. I mean, it once you like kind of pass that $100,000 threshold, that's when you start to see those really big gains. Your money starts to grow very quickly, and so that's why I kind of harp on the 100,000, and and protecting yourself. Do you have the insurance in place, the business entity in place, and the tax strategies in place? I mean, I'm not a tax dodger, and I want to keep as much as I can of what I made, right? But here's the skill that I think, and I got to tell you, I use this no lie every single day. And it's a compound interest calculator. And you can get it on whether you have an Android or an Apple, in the Play Store, the App Store, the Apple App Store. All you have to do is search financial calculator, or you can get online and just get on Google and search compound interest calculator. And there's a million of them. They're free, but I keep it on my phone. And the reason that I do this is to start helping me make like solid financial decisions. So my background is in neuroscience. And so I am fascinated with how the brain does money. And I will tell you, it is not set up very well to do money. And so you really need to kind of hit the pause button, because your gut isn't the place to go to for answers. And so I'm just going to give you an example here. If I'm trying to figure out like how I want to like buy a new car and like what my car payment's going to be, or if I'm going to invest in something, or if I'm going to take a vacation, this allows you to really put some numbers around that decision. And let's just say that, like, again, your business is doing really well. Can you afford to take a $12,000 vacation to someplace magical like Costa Rica? Absolutely. You can afford it. But do you want to afford it? That's the question. And so the scenario is, maybe you're a little bit younger and you've got a kid and you're thinking about starting a 529 to help save for college for them. And what if you didn't take the $12,000 vacation? What if you took a $6,000 vacation and instead you took that $6,000 and put it in their 529? And if you did this, and you invested that money at 8%, and you did it for 180 months, which is, let's say you have a 3-year-old. And so for 15 years, it's just sitting there. That would be almost $20,000 that you have to put towards their college fund, because 1 year, You decided to spend $6,000 on a vacation instead of 12. Now, what if for the first 6 years of your daughter's life, you did that? If you did that for 5 years, you'd have just over $100,000. And $100,000 is going to pay for almost an entire education and a lot of room and board. And that's only because you decided not to take a $12,000 vacation. You decided to take a $6,000 vacation for the first 5 years of your daughter's life. And so that's what I mean by like putting, instead of just saying, can I afford the vacation? Yes. Now you're saying, what's the opportunity cost? If I put that money and I gave it another job, what's the consequence of giving that money a job? And so, some other things. Let's just say that maybe you're new with Isogenics. I don't know where you are in the journey. And you're thinking, gosh, I've been at this, for just maybe a little while, and I'm earning, say, $1,500 a month. Do I want to stick with this? Should I do something else? It's $1,500. Like maybe you're kind of making that decision, trying to decide if that's worth it to you. Well, I just want to say that $1,500 earning a 10% rate of return, which is actually just a little bit less than average for 10 years. So if you did this for 10 years, that's almost $314,000 in a retirement account. And I don't know about you guys, but $314,000 brings a heck of a lot of peace of mind when you're thinking about your retirement. And so wherever you are in your journey, whether it's $50 a month, $150 a month, $500 a month, $10,000 a month, when you can start to put away that money, and it really does start to add up quickly, your life can change. And it feels a little bit slow at first, but I just want to encourage you to know your worth and like really claim it and charge people for it. Know your numbers. And listen, you can keep it simple. I have kept it simple. Warren Buffett has kept it simple. Simple works. And stay the course. Because in the beginning, when you're earning $50 or $100 or $150, it can feel kind of slow. But if you stick with it, you start to see the compounding interest. You start to see the growth. And that's really how women are going to have enough to retire, because we don't, I want women to achieve financial independence. And this really means normalizing money conversations. It's okay to talk about money. It's okay to talk about what you're earning. It's okay to talk about your portfolio. And I just think that more women need to do that. Quit shying away from that. There's a reason that we didn't understand or didn't know that we're being so underpaid compared to men in the workplace, because they were having those conversations. They were saying, hey, Bob's making this. Why am I not making that? We weren't having those conversations. So we didn't know we were being underpaid. We kind of do now, but it's still hard to compare. So anyway, it's really what I had for you. I just wanted to like give you two quick tools and just let you know it's simple, and either just focus on income or start to focus on investing, and put pen to paper, know your value, and also understand the impact of your decisions. If you get a car that's got a $1,200 monthly payment versus a $600 monthly payment, what's the opportunity cost of that $600? I'm not saying don't get the $1,200 payment car. If that's what you want, get it, but go into it eyes wide open of what that money is, where it's going, and what the opportunity cost is. So anyway, those are the two tools that I use them all the time. So I really do mean it. Like I'm here. I just like to talk to people. And if you ever just want to chat and say, where am I at? Just hit me up, send me an email. I'll see if I can help you. Or maybe I know somebody that can.
Amy, you are the best. I'm going to put this in the chat. Will you mind? Oh, I was going to ask you to stop doing that. Here, I'm going to put it in there, right there. Oh, we're doing it at the same time. What was it, Amy? Tell me it again.
I'm sorry, what?
What was your email? Amy at.
Oh, it's simple. It's amy@amywestbrook.com.
Okay. I just have it in there because I was going to say stop sharing the screen. So you guys hang on for just a minute or two, but I wanted to say thank you so much, Amy. We just so appreciate you.